Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be taking on quad chimps with the Master Bomber strategy, and you might be thinking that this will probably not get that much cash bear. First of all, because Master Bomber is an extremely expensive setup. You basically need all 20 Shinobis to get any consistency, so that's just a lot of money, plus the Master Bomber is more expensive than the Grandmaster Ninja, and on quad chimps you also have to deal with balloons coming from the bottom lane. The Master Bomber is an infinite range tower, but it will not get the ceramics, and you do need very good ceramic cleanup on the bottom side. So basically you really can't get any cash spare, but I'm still going to be trying to do that, and there is a cool little trick, way to beat quad that's been going around a little bit. Not using Condor though, because it just really wouldn't work with Condor, because Master Bomber would just break everything open before Condor would send everything to the top lane. So we're not going to be doing that. Instead, I'm going to be playing the quad as like a single lane map, but in a really weird way, as part of the defense, which is all going to be clustered up at the top. Will reach over to the bottom right lane, where in that tiny little bit of space we're going to be focusing on that one spot, taking that out first, and then the other three lanes will loop around and go into the range of basically the rest of the setup. It's really weird, but it does actually kind of work, and I'm going to be getting it to work here. Another thing that you could have done, which might have been a little bit easier, is that, well, this is just a different approach that I decided not to take. A different approach would be to have either Sada or Oben, basically a good cleanup here that would work well on quad. I would have Oben here, would take on the top with one Tornado Druid and like a little something extra, while you have everything else at the bottom three lanes, which would be positioned at the bottom left. That would be able to take out three lanes, and then Oben or Sada at the top would be able to take out the last lane. So just the hero alone taking on 1/4 of the balloons. Now this approach actually might just straight up be better than what I'm doing here and could get more cash bear. I'd imagine you do it with Sada, because you really need like some damage, and with this one I was really taking advantage a lot from Oben too, so that's why I decided to do that. Like the Shinobis and Master Bomber does get a lot of benefit from Oben. However, in the late game I really wasn't able to use Oben that much, so it kind of felt like a little bit of a waste, I'd imagine. So maybe like Sada would be better. I don't really know. This was just obviously like one single attempt to try. It did work out pretty well, so I didn't really mess around with anything else. But there's some other ideas that could float around that basically like run kind of the same way, turning quad into a map where one single lane is zoned in by a particular part of the setup, where then all three other lanes will converge into kind of one spot, where then they'll be able to be taken out by the rest of the defense. So it works out pretty well, and obviously it worked out here. So basically what I'm doing in early game is that I'm getting 2 Bloon Jitsus up. I'm going to have both of these. You're going to get a good amount of Shinobi stacks. I get an Ice Monkey out there so I can put a Village. I'm just doing 1 discount because I'm going to be so limited on space that I can't really get 2 discounts in the first place. And then we'll get a whole bunch of Shinobis and a master, well, what will become the Master Bomb. Right now a Sticky Bomb up there at the top. The Sticky Bomb doesn't really do a whole lot of everything. I end up getting another Flash Bomb at the bottom to be able to deal with Super Ceramics leaking from the bottom, which, well, the bottom left lane, which is going to be very important. I also could have put the Master Bomber there to be able to just take that part, but I kind of felt like I would need a Flash Bomb up at the top too anyways, because then that would allow me to take out the leaking Super Ceramics coming out from the well, I guess they're coming out from the bottom, but then they'd be leaking on the top left lane, because they only go 2 lanes. So basically there's going to be 1 lane from the convergence of 3 lanes where it's going to be going on one path and just like leaking out straight immediately. So I thought I'd need some support there with Super Ceramics, so I got a Flash Bomb there, and then I guess another one at the bottom. One of them just comes from the Master Bomber anyway, so it's not like the biggest of a deal. This might also sound like super complicated and all, but at least in my mind it's working out. I then Berserker Brew both of those ninjas so that they can at least have like a somewhat decent amount of power, and with the Moab Shove helping up at the bottom too, I'm able to take everything out. So it's working out. We're not really getting any defense at the bottom. Of course, that's the whole goal, to be able to do this without getting defense at the bottom of quad, which is a pretty big task. And I also can't just directly build everything in the middle, because that doesn't really just work out with the Master Bomber at all. I'm just gonna be like loose on power everywhere, and stuff's just gonna leak. I'm gonna need to concentrate stuff so that everything with Oben together will be able to deal with stuff. And also that really would only work with the Grandmaster Ninja, which of course I'm not going for. So with all of that being said, it's time to move on and try to get the Master Bomber. I'm gonna come back in the 90s a bit for some cool tricks and kind of explain what's going on there. Alright, so we get that Master Bomber, and now it's time to just fill up the 20 Shinobi stacks. And on top of this, I'm going to be going for a 032 glue just to help out, because some ceramics are still leaking a little bit. They're just moving a little bit too fast for the Shinobi, the Bloonjitsu, and that flash bomb to clean up. So we take care of that, and I surprisingly also do need a Sabo. I was trying to get away without that Sabo, but based on how round 93 and 95 were going, I definitely needed that against round 99. So I got that, and then round 97 went by really easily, and round 98 was definitely the hardest round, but I come up with a really cool trick. And you see I'm holding on the Master Bomber tab and constantly spamming between last and first, and that's because I need to be able to take out the bottom left lane completely before anything else, and the way to do that is bring it on last, and then on first, and then on last, and then on first. If you kind of understand how that works, I guess you'd get it, but it was pretty complicated, and a really cool solution. Round 100 was super easy, and this was just awesome. 33,000 cash bear is nice, especially how hard it is for a Master Bomber.
Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!